Warriors, come out to play. I don't remember what movies that's from, but I know it's a quote that a guy that I used to rickshaw with used to say. Thought that was pretty funny. Um, Today I want to go over kind of what my experience was at grounding camp, kind of from start to finish. I won't be too detailed about it because I think thinking of making a blog post was a little bit more, but just kind of a general sequence of events, I guess. So we landed. I landed at the airport, and we went down to baggage claim where we met up with the other guys. I was feeling pretty nervous. I had to go to the restroom first, and I just felt like that was a little bit of a reprieve before meeting everyone. Having been so introverted and inside, it just, I don't know, just this nervousness creeps up in me when I'm going to meet large groups of people. But that went away pretty quickly because it was just like a bunch of other dudes that are there for the same thing, and they're all very like welcoming. The organizers are very intuitive, so they kind of help to alleviate some of that kind of stuff. So we signed up, we got name tags. We got in the buses, we went over there, took about an hour. We were having some cool conversations along the way, getting to know each other a little bit. We arrived, we registered, we had lunch. Elliot peeked in for a little bit and just kind of looked around, kind of being silly, and then walked out. That was fun. And then I kind of felt inspired to kind of just get up. And I walked outside, and then saw someone else that had already left and was talking with Elliot. And so I went and spoke with him a little bit and just kind of gathered his vibe. They showed us our bunks, then we went and started our first, I'd call it ceremony, honestly. Because having done ayahuasca and what we went through was very reminiscent of that experience, but more on a physical level. But it would inspire the same sensory, sensational kind of state that I get into, on any kind of psychedelic or ceremonial, ritualistic, setting. But yeah, we started out with a few exercises that were, just really, really tough, really demanding, that required us to focus in certain ways while doing, like putting things together and kind of multitasking, body movements and stuff like that, and getting really exhausted, and then like pushing through, powering through, and keeping it going. And then some of the exercises were kind of like, you want to keep it going, but you're not trying to force it. So it was like having a balance of keeping it going and persevering, and like maintaining your will and your focus without like just giving up completely, but at the same time not like not forcing it, not pushing it too hard, So I thought that was really cool, really interesting. There was some lessons on the king, warrior, magician, lover, the four archetypes, the four parts of our being, and he went over the spirit, and the mind, and emotions, and the body and stuff like that, and just how everything's connected, how everything in the universe is spirals, and just like really on point with a lot of the stuff that I've already learned. And it's really awesome to see it all integrated and put together, in that way. Let's see, what else we got going on. And we'd break for lunch and then go back, and we did some pretty awesome exercises. We did a yes/no exercise where we kind of just stamp our feet down and scream yes or no at the top of our lungs. And it's kind of the idea that without your no, you don't have a yes. And that ties exactly in with what I've been teaching about duality, is that everything kind of balances off one another. Everything needs You need your up for your down, you need your yes for your no, and you need your no for your yes. So you can't just be like, oh, like I'm one with everything, I love everything, like, yes to all. Like there's still gonna be boundaries, and that's important, to clearly define where you begin and where you end, and that will also give your individuality will also give the contrast by which you will be able to experience your individuality, or your unit your unified perspective will, your individual perspective will give contrast for your unified perspective. Without one, the other can't exist, kind of thing. Or you won't know when you see it, right? That kind of thing. Oh man, it was so cool. So we kind of balanced between kind of sitting and learning and giving context to what we were doing, and then we would get up and do exercise. We had a few stints. They were usually about an hour long, and then at the end of the day, we would do kind of a cool down. So in a sequence, you could say that in the morning we would kind of get ourselves pumped up, get ourselves going, and then we would kind of have like a stressful, heated kind of exercise, and then we'd have more of like an expressive type of exercise. We're just like screaming, doing gibberish. Just like annihilating your ego and wanting to look pretty all the time. Just kind of walking around, breathing really deep with your face, your mouth wide open, your tongue sticking out, maybe you're drooling, whatever, just like not trying to save face, because that's exactly the type of social conditioning that's keeping you in your little box of repetitive programs and ways of thinking and ways of reacting to how everything else is going on. So that's how you kind of break the mold, is by doing something different. And that's actually very in line with what I was talking about with circulating energy when I made that video. So just like everything combined and actually being not just intellectualized, but actualized and realized. And then near the end of the day, we would do a Kundalini meditation, which was more so than the others, very reminiscent of the ceremonies that I've been to, especially because they were like blowing some sage. They had a bunch of candles. They turned the lights down, and then they had a couple little mini palm trees at the podium, and just like really set the mood. And the music's going, and we're just kind of vibrating, gyrating, and everything. And we do that for a while, and then we're dancing for a little while, and then we just sit still for a while, and then we lay down, and it's just kind of a coming down at the end of the day kind of thing. So it was like, as each exercise sequence in of itself would have a kind of a 4-stage kind of sequence where it would get hot and then cool down. The day as a whole would have, it would get hot, throughout the day, and then near the end of the night we kind of cool it down. It's very in line with, literally as the sun rises, we start warming ourselves up, and at noon it's the hottest, and then when the sun starts to set, we also cool down. So it's just like living in line with the circadian rhythms and the rhythms of the cosmos, which is exactly in line with what I was talking about with momentum, and respecting and honoring the established momentum, that is the greatest, the largest, the planet, the earth, the moon, the stars, the cosmos. There's not much you can do about the sun rising every day. You can't really mess that up, and if you're not in line with it, then you won't be reaping the greatest benefit. It's like trying to jump on a trampoline that has been swinging a certain way for a while, and then if you try to alter the vibration of it, it's off, and you're not going to be able to jump as high. But yeah, what a great experience. Like, met so many cool guys. At the very end, we had this Elliot went over some astrological stuff, and I'm not too into astrology because it's just a little bit too soft for me, but he explained some things in a way, and there were some things that were more poignant than any astrology has ever been before. And so I'm going to look more into that. He provided a pretty good resource. I forget the name of it right now. I think it's like cosmicconsciousness.com or something like that. But yeah, it was so cool. He kind of ended with that, and then we, just kind of chilled, had lunch, took pictures, relaxed, and we were just like talking with a lot of people. A lot of guys came up and were talking with me, and so that was pretty inspiring to, feel like, I've got something to offer and all that, so pretty cool stuff. I'm really excited. In the near future, I'll be looking into more of these resources, be implementing and practicing this stuff, and within the next few months or so, I'm hoping to, be hosting retreats of my own or something like that. At least posting videos of me doing, showing you some of the dynamic meditation exercises, and how you can apply them in your life and things like that. Just kind of general guidelines, and just to give you, if you're interested, give you more context and more education about it. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching.